How you feeling?
Me?
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Good.
How are you feeling?
Honestly, not the greatest. I had really bad sleep last night because I was up all night with a migraine, which was super fun. So sorry if I'm a little bit tired. I just wanted to chat with you. I know that Vic is going really hard, which I didn't expect her not to do. Everybody should fight for themselves in this game. I'm honestly just going to give you one pitch. I'm not going to bug you all day. I'm not going to chase you around if I see her talking to you after this. My pitch is pretty simple. I know that there is a big target in the house. It would be foolish of me if I were to stay and be in any form of power next week to not go for that target. There is somebody else in the house that I have never spoken game to if that target should remove himself from the block, and that is Braden and Roe. That would be my two people, which I kind of wanted Braden gone 2 weeks ago just because I can't read him game-wise, so that's honestly no surprise. I don't really care what Vic is pitching. I don't need to know it. I will be honest and say people have from the get-go told me that you guys are coming for me, that you don't respect my game, I don't deserve to be here. This is nothing new, I've heard it. If she leaves, that's literally the last sketchy person who has told me that. And the only person, there's two people that I kind of have any sort of trust with in this game, obviously Tina and Kiefer. And Kiefer has never said that once, and he has never faltered in the fact that you and Jed are specifically coming for me. That has never faltered for him. That has come from a lot of other people's mouths, and those people, if she goes, are gone. But I understand you're in a position that you have to do what you think makes sense for you. I will also say if I go and it's a jury situation, if she survives this and makes it to final two, even though I have zero respect for her and I'm in jury, if she's in that situation, I would have to give her my vote. Because the fact that she has won 3 HOHs, the fact that she has lied and deceived so much, the fact that she even took that situation and manipulated it so hard by going to you guys right before she blows up the house to air all her dirty laundry without giving anybody an opportunity and then blows it up. To me, that's a huge form of manipulation. And if it works, do you know what I mean? There's no, and straight up with her, if she even wanted to apologize to me at this moment, I would tell her she doesn't need to. That got way too personal. It got way too deep. I have great people in my life. I don't need somebody who will disrespect me on that level. Not to mention, all she had to say to me was personal shit. The one thing that she questioned about my game and the conversation I had with Beth, that I asked her flat out, which was what I said to Beth when I chatted with Beth, she flat out denied. Everything else she said to me was personal and digging deep. Mm-hmm. But that's on you guys to see how you feel about that. And how, if you think that she's better for your game, just know, if she's sitting on the block again, she'll stay with whoever, like white on rice. I literally can't even get conversations with people. I have to leave rooms. That would be the way it would be on a flip side occasion. And I have never flocked to an HOH room. I have never tried to manipulate somebody's HOH or decisions. I have always looked at sides and made decisions that I thought were best for me in those times. And I've been vocal about those.
Yeah.
And that's honestly all I can say. And the fact that next week, if I were to win, on Thursday, I don't want any more drama, man. Last night I had a migraine that was so bad, she has told me that you guys have said to me, she said that Austin said, right before when that vote went up. Oh, Austin just ran up to me and said, you don't deserve to be here. She was trying to get me to fight with Austin. Mm-hmm. And it's always been the same thing, that I don't deserve to be here. And if that has come out of your mouth, if that is true, then you know that what I'm telling you is true, and she told me what you said, or it's a blatant lie, and she said it in front of everybody because that's how she feels. She said it in front of everybody. I did not make that up. She said it to me as I walked out the door. You don't deserve to be here, you lying fucking bitch. That's
Yeah, so first and foremost, like, I don't really think you can picture me saying that. I
No.
would never make an assessment or judgment on whether or not someone deserves to be here. Because the reality is, like, we talked about this a few days ago. It's just
I
like,
know.
I'm proud of each and every one of us, and I'm sure our families are proud of us for even coming.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, any kind of feelings you have towards being here and, like, missing your family, like,
Yeah.
that's completely valid and natural.
Yeah. And even in that situation, I don't know how, like saying that I wouldn't want to be the first member of the jury, that's the same as somebody saying they don't want to be the first one to go home. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has their different fears in this house. Is that like a fear for me? It's because I have kids, and that would be very difficult. If it happens, I have no control over it. But that was said in a human level conversation that had nothing to do with game. And a lot of my things that I've said are like me complaining, I just make jokes. And now I've kind of learned like I can't be myself around maybe certain people.
Yeah.
Those were moments where I was just being myself. Like I am a funny, easygoing, I crack jokes to make light of things. I make fun of myself. Like that is who I have always been. And people know that in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't leave everything that I have if I generally hated being here and hated this game. I just make light of situations when they're shit. And I've been in a lot of shitty situations where people have blatantly been lying and people are trying to pin me against people. Like I don't have the same viewpoint that you have in this game. Not saying that it hasn't been difficult for you, but when you play a completely outside game and people are full on using you to do their dirty work, it's a whole different level of savage. Nobody's using you to do their dirty work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get used a lot. And then I get like called out and crocodile tears and this big huge thing as if I'm spearheading everything when I've been on the outside this entire time. People pull me into shit because I'm on the outside all the time.
I know. Secondly, like, I would say, like, I'm really sorry that you had to deal with that yesterday.
Yeah, it's not your fault. I was kind of anticipating it, to be honest. I didn't think it would go to that extent. And honestly, like, she's fired up. She came here for her. She's got a dream, too.
But yeah, but
I will leave this situation, like, I don't have any, like, ill will. I wish the absolute best for her. But for me, I don't hold grudges, but I know what I bring to the table with like my friendship and who I am as a person. I haven't been called a bitch since I was in high school. People who disrespect me, I don't go for blood. I don't need vengeance. You just lose me in your life. Bottom line, I will send you all the love in the world. I've done that with like ex-boyfriends. I've even told you guys that. Like people who have screwed me over. I'll send you all the love in the world, wish you well. But when you do, guess what? You lose me in your life. Mm-hmm. And her doing that, she didn't burn a bridge, like it exploded. And you don't rebuild that with me. I've got way too much respect for myself as a woman, as a mom, as a human being, to let people like that stay in my life. And it's not about being vengeful or holding a grudge. I don't like when people disrespect me in that way. That's not game.
I know.
That's not you game.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And no one deserves to be attacked like that.
Yeah.
So like I'm sorry you had to go through that, and like you did not deserve that.
Mm-hmm. And that's totally like not your fault. I feel like for everybody that was really awkward. And I don't know if she stayed, who would be next to feel that?
I know. Someone else might have to go through that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, is that what we want?
I have no control. That's up to you guys to decide.
I know. I mean, emotions aside, based on what I saw yesterday, I mean, I didn't like what I saw emotionally. But like, if I'm being objective game-wise, when I look at my game and I look at Vic, do I think Vic comes for me? No, I don't. Do I think Vic comes with people? Does she come for people that I'm close to? It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. But one thing I know Vic has promised is that I'm not going on the block.
Yeah.
And I think when I was talking to you last time, I was like,
in that conversation, because conversations have been had about how to get Roe out. How to get Roe out.
yeah.
Do I put him up dead right? Or do you put somebody who wants to compete with him? And I said that to you before any of that blow up. It would be a conversation to be had. If people think, F it, throw him right up there, put him with Braden, sure. Roe and Braden, see who gets picked in the POV. I just had heard that people wanted to backdoor him so he couldn't play in the veto. And if you want to backdoor him, you need strong competitors to be sitting up there to ensure that they get a veto. That's all that conversation meant. If people say no, let's roll the dice, put up Braden and Roe, and if he comes down, then Braden goes home, cool. It's fine. We would have the numbers. That's all that conversation was. Because people have been saying the only way to get him out is a back door.
Mm-hmm.
And I said right to you, like, if you don't want to do it, I wouldn't make you do that. I know, like, and I did say, like, I would have a conversation with Jed. Like, I know Jed feels like he could beat him in a veto. I don't know if Jed would want to be in that position. I would talk to Jed about it. It's suicide for my game if I don't make the move that will make the most people happy. Because now I'm backed into a huge corner where even though I have won nothing, I have had no control, I've had zero power, I have played on the outside, for some reason I am now a massive target. Because somebody else, I have no other cards to play at this point if I want to stay longer in this game. There's no other cards to play. And that's all I meant by that conversation. And it would be a conversation to be had. And I fully know that if one of you win, there's a good chance that I'm sitting on the block. Like, I know this. I don't know if I'm sitting next to Roe or whatever. I would rather go out on a different note than this one this week. I would like one more week to save face from that. But again, it's your decision. She might not be coming for you right now. She might not be coming for your people right now. This game is an individual game. This is not a team sport.
Oh, I know.
She's saying anything she needs to right now. And she went and told you all of her secrets and all of her dirt when she was backed into a corner and needed to. Not because she had to. She didn't pitch to Beth before. She didn't pitch to you guys before. And it would. She, like, her resume at this point is much stronger than yours. Like, that's just being real.
It is.
And I don't necessarily think, like, you know, Beth makes this, like, great big move and it doesn't happen on her HOH. It's pretty shit for Beth, too.
I'd agree with that. I mean, yeah, like, there's no argument that Vic is probably the strongest player in this game resume-wise. Mm-hmm. So getting her out would be huge in terms of eliminating a strong resume player.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be easy. She would never go down without a fight. She wouldn't.
Oh,
and she would say what she needed to say. When have you ever seen Vic this much in an HOH room?
Never.
Never.
She's fighting for her life, and as she should. Mm-hmm. Right? I wouldn't expect anything less.
Totally, but just be aware between fighting and manipulation. I'm still being me. You and Jed have said this so many times. You see people's true colors when they're in a tight spot. I don't think my colors have wavered. I've never crowded an HOH room. I've never followed people around. I've never, like, used any sort of bullying tactics or, you know what I mean? That's just not me. Mm-hmm. When you see people's actions change when they're in a tight spot, I think that's something to observe. And is what she is saying even true? Or is she saying whatever she needs to stay? Do you not think she will have salty feelings if she stays?
Potentially. I think, like, it's tough to explain why I think she wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Like, I have reasons Like, I have deeper reasons why I think that it's unlikely. Like, there will come a time where we'd have to face off and get rid of her. Whether it's now or down the road is kind of my question to myself.
Who do you think would be easier for you to face off against?
In terms of who?
Me or her? Who would you rather face off against?
I mean, you, based on what I've seen so far, yeah. But, like, it's just a weird situation where I think it's very unlikely that Vic puts me on the block.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I could see you doing that to me.
And
because you won't say you wouldn't. You know what I mean?
I don't know how many times I haven't told you that I wouldn't. I've literally, like, I pitched it to you before any of this even happened.
Like, I wouldn't put you on the block?
No. The only thing I've ever said is if you wanted to backdoor Roe, then tell me, who do I put up? You said you don't want to go up. Jed has said maybe he does. I don't know. It would have to be a conversation that was had. Because at the end of the day, people got to go up there.
I know.
That's all I have ever said.
I know.
That's it.
I'm not asking you for names either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But, like, I don't know, like, if you don't believe me, I don't know what else to say to you.
Believe you about what? What do you mean when you say I don't
believe that you guys aren't my targets.
I believe you on that.
Yeah.
That I believe you about.
Yeah.
It's not that I think you're going to come for me.
Yeah.
It's just that I think you might put me on the block, whereas she wouldn't. And being on the block essentially means you're expendable. Do you see what I'm saying? Essentially means you could go home. And it's like,
I've never treated anybody in this house like they were expendable.
I'm not saying you treat me as I'm expendable, but, like, the reality is when you go on the block, you could go home.
I know. I'm sitting on the block.
Anything could happen.
I'm sitting on the block. I know that.
Like, you put me on the block, it could be instant eviction. There's no veto. I'm going home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, those things have happened. They do happen.
I know.
So I'm like, if I'm looking at it from that perspective.
For sure.
Your chances of staying in this game are always significantly higher when you don't.
If that makes you uncomfortable and it's easier for me to say Roe and Braden, I will. Like, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like at this point, I don't know what else I can say to you to make you feel better about this. You have to go with how you feel. And that's all I can do. I'm so, like, kind of, like, drained from all of it, where it's like, if you really, like, if that's what you, then honestly, Ty, then that's your choice. That's your choice. There is literally nothing else I can say to you. I am logical in this game. If I want to go further in this game, there are moves that need to be made to ensure that I go further in this game. There are moves that I need to make to get all of this heat off of me. I can't tell you anything else. If you choose not to believe that, then you choose not to believe that. There's nothing else I can say to you. And I'm not going to bug you about it. You're still playing your game for you. At the end of the day, you have to make the decision that you think is best for you. I can't hammer out this point anymore, and I'm not going to keep following you around and being like, hey, remember, like, no. You have to do what you feel feels right for you. If me saying, like, if that's what you guys would want, I always had heard that there's a fucking backdoor plan for him. But if that is not what people want, then I would put up Roe and Braden.
I'm honestly not sure what people want, because it's like I can't speak for everybody.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the plan would be to get rid of Roe.
No.
Because, like...
And I'm just saying, I'm open to having that conversation. Speaking like adults, talking about this game. I don't have any, and honestly, there's two people that I feel like have, like, that I have, like, any, like, I feel like what they tell me is usually the truth. And Kiefer he has been adamant. He does not want Roe here, and he has always been adamant that you guys are not coming for me. He has never once faltered on that, ever.
And we're not, and that's the truth.
And just to be like, to call a spade, if I won and I didn't make a hit at Roe, Kiefer is now pissed at me. I only have 2 allies left in this game. Now one of them is pissed at me too. I don't know what else to say for you to, like, see, like, if you don't want to go on the block, perfect, fine, whatever. Then he's got to go flat out. If he wins a veto, then you guys have to be in agreement. I don't have a vote. Then you're going to have to vote out Braden. I don't know if you guys are tight with Braden. That's the only other play that I have. The only one.
Well, I get that. Because, like...
And I straight up kind of wanted Braden gone 2 weeks ago. Because he's got a great social game. And he will be a hard name to say.
Right.
He will also be hard to get out later. Any way you dice it, I'm not the most liked in this house. You know what I mean? Like, my name will easily be said. Honestly, after this week, I feel like I will be like Roe, and I won't even fucking care if I'm sitting on that block. After this week, I don't know how it could feel any worse. There are other people who might not even see it. I'm not oblivious to any of that.
Oh, I hear that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Because, like, you know what it is for me? It's like I look at it numbers-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And simply put, you're not putting Tera on the block.
Tina.
Sorry. Not putting Tina on the block. Not
Mm-hmm.
putting Kiefer on the block. Right? Those, I don't think you ever do that. So then that leaves, and you don't, if you don't want to put Roe on the block, that leaves me.
It's not that I don't want to put Roe on the block. I have been told that people think he needs a backdoor to get out. It's not that
What do you think?
I don't throw him on the fucking block. If you're worried about it, the numbers are dwindling no matter what. You either put up 2 essential pawns in the hope that Roe's name does not get picked, that he doesn't get picked, and that you backdoor him. But literally next week's veto, only 2 people aren't playing. If you, like, numbers are dwindling.
I know.
In my opinion, to pull off a backdoor at this point in the game, you kind of can't. You just don't know. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. I don't know if people feel comfortable, but like that's probably, I would probably put up Roe and Braden, or if you're super against it, I would see if Jed wanted to go toe to toe, or Jed and Braden, to increase Jed's odd to take himself off. But that would be a conversation that I would have to have with Jed, and I don't even know if this conversation is messing with my relationship with Jed by even saying that. It's a conversation I would have to have with Jed. And if neither one of you want to do that, then fuck Roe and Braden, and we'll see what he does. We will see who randomly gets picked, and if he comes off, I still don't have a vote. You guys would have the numbers regardless. It would have to, like, it would be Braden would go for me.
And I think that essentially, I think that's what I was trying to ask you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
You guys would have the numbers at that point.
Yeah, because obviously there's like a limitation to who you can put up. If you're not putting up Key for Tina, then that just leaves me, Jed, Beth, Braden, Roe. And if you don't put up Roe, that leaves me, Jed, Beth, Braden.
Yeah.
Right? So then essentially.
No, it would be Braden.
It says to me that.
Braden doesn't really even talk to me. I don't have a good game relationship with him. When it came down between Austin and Braden, I essentially wanted to keep Austin because she was a bigger target, and I've never known where Braden's head's at. Like, people can visibly see that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really talk a lot. I don't think that's a big surprise, but you guys would have the numbers in that situation. You would have the numbers, and Tina would do what you guys wanted. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. I think that's really all I want to hear from you.
yeah, and that's fair.
Like,
But-
I don't want to hear that, like, oh, if I decide to put you, I'm just going to put you up. Like,
And I've never once said that.
You know, but it's like that's the assumption I make if you're not going to
Yeah,
say, like,
I know.
I
Well,
won't
and
put
it's probably an assumption that is feeded to you by someone else, as long as all the other assumptions that have been feeded to me about you guys. It's other people's bullshit. It has never been my bullshit.
Yeah, and it's
And
not,
I came to play a game.
and I believe,
It would be suicide for my game.
and I believe you. But one thing I do know about you is if you tell me something, I will believe it.
Yeah.
Right? If you tell me, like, Deshaun, like, this is what I'm going to do, I believe it.
Yeah.
But when I hear, like, something vague, like, oh, we'll have a conversation,
Yeah.
that makes me feel like you'll just do whatever you want at the end of
No.
the day and say we had a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. No,
You know what I
no.
mean?
I just said, like, it would literally, we would have to have conversations.
And I agree, we would.
Yeah.
But, like, I just wanted some boundaries around that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't want
Those
to
would
be
be my two. Those would be my two targets.
Exactly.
And then if they kind of, in my opinion, if they kind of like went in the next 2 weeks, well then it's
yeah.
potentially. I honestly think even Kiefer is closer to you guys than he is with me and Tina. Do you know what I mean? Like, then it is what it is at that point. There's no other options.
Yeah.
There's literally no other options at that point. And it would literally just come down to who wins shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
We're getting there, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And at the end of the day, like, yeah, me and Tina are super tight. We're only two. As much as I do trust Kiefer and I love Kiefer, I know that he would probably stick with you guys. He's kind of shown that. Do you know what I mean? Like that he's been with you guys. And that's fine. Like that it is what it is. It would literally come down to who's winning next. And that's how this game is played.
I agree.
It doesn't need to be played with all the bullshit.
I agree. Well, it's good.
And if I did anything else, if I won next week, guess who's now the biggest target? Not Ro, me. Yeah. And then people aren't even looking at Ro. Not to mention, I would need something on my resume too.
It's true.
Everybody needs something on their resume.
To win the game?
If you win an HOH, at this point, it's got to be a resume move. If you have any argument at the end.
You're right.
I'm not blind to that fact. I just don't like the other bullshit with this game. I love this game. I came here because I love this game. And do I like some of the unnecessary bullshit? No. That's not my game. It's not the game I came to play. But you got to do what you think's good for you.
No, that's good. Like, no, overall, like, I'm happy that you're saying, like, the things you're saying rather than we'll see, because
I know, but I've never said we'll see to you. I don't even know where this is coming from.
No, but when you say like we have to have a conversation, it almost makes
because it was literally in that scenario. Because I have heard people say, "How do we get him out? Do we backdoor him?" That's all I meant by it. That's all I meant by it. Like that's even like one simple conversation that can get twisted in another direction.
Yeah.
That's only because people have said that. Shit, he's won 3 vetoes. Do we do a backdoor? And in a backdoor situation, well, Braden is one. Somebody's got to be sitting next to Braden.
Yeah.
That's all that was. If nobody wants to sit next to Braden, Braden and Ro. And let the chips fall as they may.
Mm-hmm.
And then my target would be Braden.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever, if Ro took himself down, whoever would be sitting next to Braden would be a pawn, and you guys would have the numbers regardless, no matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
You have the numbers. You would decide if Braden is worth keeping. And honestly, if I needed to use a pawn, if I'm just being real with you, it would probably be Beth, because Beth used me as a pawn. And that would be a safer thing for me to do. And I would tell Beth, you are just a pawn in this situation, because you guys would have the votes to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the move that I would need to make that would make the most sense. Because I was a pawn this week right now on her HOH.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be, and I would talk to Beth about that. You guys would have the numbers. You guys would not vote out Beth over Braden.
Mm-hmm.
She would be fine. But if I have to, like, if that was my whole plan, if neither you or Jed want to go head to toe with him and don't want to sit on the block, that is what I would do. And if he came down, that would be my pawn choice.
That makes sense.
Only because I'm the pawn in this one. And I don't think that Beth would go, Braden would go in that scenario. At least that's what you guys would be voting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be shocked if you voted out Beth, but that would be, and that's just me being real.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I'm sitting on the block on Beth's HOH. That's the only reason. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that.
Like she would understand. And I would literally say to her the same thing she said to me, like, if you went home on my HOH, something has gone terribly wrong. It's what she has said to me from the beginning. If it ever came down to that situation, it would be the same.
Yeah. I still think it's highly unlikely that.
No, well, it wouldn't. Like, I can't see you guys after all of this time. Do you know what I mean? Keeping Braden over Beth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen. And you know that Tina will vote wherever you guys want, because Tina is also not close to Braden either.
Mm-hmm.
Tina's actually probably closer to you guys. She's closer to you guys than I am. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's always maintained with all the bullshit that has come in that it was bullshit.
Yeah.
And she hasn't trusted Vic for a long time. And honestly, Tina used to tell me, watch your words around Vic. Don't even. These are real conversations. And I was like, nah, Vic's cool. And Tina was right. She's a good judge of character. She's never thrown you guys under the bus either.
Yeah.
Kiefer or Tina never has. Everybody else in the house pretty much has. Although I wouldn't say like Ro really has. Ro doesn't really talk a lot, even to me.
Really?
No, you know him. He's very calculated. He always makes like assumptions. Like he would say something like big targets. But nothing. He's not like a big direct. And Braden legit doesn't. He doesn't even, I don't even really talk to him that much in the house. He's much closer with everybody else than me. That should be a no-brainer in that situation. And it sucks because I think he's great. I would have loved to have gotten to know him more. But even when Austin left, he just kind of flocked to Beth. I haven't built anything with him. That's no skin off my ass at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But this also sucks because now I'm saying this out loud and I need his vote.
Well, you'll get it.
Yeah, I know, but like
I'm
you
not
have
gonna
to,
go to- I'm not
like
gonna go to
even with
Braden.
like that whole like this stupid house meeting, I'm still on the block. I still need 4 votes to stay.
Yeah.
I still need 4 votes to stay. And 2 of those votes would be 2 of my targets moving forward. Like that's a thing, you know?
Yeah. But if you're being real, like, assuming that, like, Jed and I vote with Beth or on our support Beth's decision, and Keith is on your side, so is Tina,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
I know, but you just understand like
Yeah, I mean,
my predicament, you know?
No matter which
Like if
race.
I've never been like wanting to give direct names because my ass is sitting on the block. And my ass still needs some votes
Yeah, no, I know.
to stay. You know?
I know.
Nothing's guaranteed.
No, I know. Right. So, I think you're in a good position. Right.
And I'll like, you know, I'm gonna chat with Jed, I'm gonna talk to Beth.
Yeah, and
And then I'm done with conversations. And that's no disrespect. It doesn't mean I don't have fight in it, but like I'm not playing ping pong with her all day today.
yeah.
I'm gonna fucking pack my bag. I'm going to lay low. And that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing ping pong with her. And I don't even care if you want to share this conversation. I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I'm having my conversations, the original conversations that I wanted to have anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to pack my bag and I'm going to fucking chill. And if I go home, I go home. If I don't, that's where I am.
Yeah.
Because this is just insanity. I'm too old for this shit.
Wow. No, I hear you. I don't think you go home. Anyways. But
It's Big Brother. Anything could happen. There could be a fucking twist. There could be a flip.
yeah, we don't know.
You never know. That's my piece. That's my truth. That's
I appreciate that. Like, I mean, you've always been
Yeah.
real with me.
no,
And,
and
like,
yeah, like I'm just. It's not that I don't have fight in me in this game. I don't have any more fight for a specific situation. That's all.
yeah, like you've always been real with me, and I always say that. And to me, that goes a lot further than someone who hasn't.
Yeah.
And take from that what you want, but like, you know, I'm always about loyalty.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know
realness
that.
And straight shooters,
Yeah.
and that's what I value in this game,
Yeah.
which is why.
And I
Like,
feel like we've always been on the same page with that. And I've always wanted to work with you. There's just been a lot of sketchy people that didn't want me creating bonds with you, with your 3. That was intentional because people were scared of your 3 and they needed numbers.
I don't know where all this fear came from.
I don't know either.
Like when I heard about the oddballs the other day, I was like 7
Yeah.
for us? Why?
Yeah. And that was even funny, like, just the thought, like, that I orchestrated all that. Like, I've been on the outside. Do you know how many things I've been pulled into? How many things that I've just been pulled into? Mm-hmm. I can't even believe that one had a name. That's the only one that's actually had a name where I was like, oh, okay.
It's funny because I've been asking for that name for a long time.
Yeah, that's what it was. And straight up, I did not come up with it. Me and Tina were told about it afterwards. Like, oh yeah, we came up with a name. I don't actually know if it was Vic. It may have been Austin, actually. I don't know where the name originated from. I was told about it afterwards. And it was like, all the misfits. Like, it was just assumed that I'm like, you know.
All the misfits fit well together.
Yeah. There's no one left. There's no one left. And when there was talks of size in a house, I was pretty vocal with you guys without calling out things because I'm still playing a game that I don't like to do sides and that there's just certain people that I don't trust.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Like you say, like actions speak louder, right? And like, I just don't feel like personally, like I haven't, there's nothing I've done to show you that you can't trust me.
No. And I don't think that you're gunning for me next week.
I'm not.
I know who the target is.
I think our targets, I think we share a common interest in who our target is. And we always have. Like, I've had this conversation with Tina earlier this week.
Yeah.
Was it before the HOH even? I was like, yeah, we got to get the elephant in the room out of here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, with you and Expedia, with you and Tina.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were talking about. It was Vic.
Yeah, of course it was. You can't even say her name.
I think it's happening sooner than we anticipated.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's happening.
I'm telling you right now, I don't think I'd like sit next to Vic. Sucks.
Does it? Why?
Why? You know what? You sit next to her next time.
That's the biggest target in the house.
Oh no, but just the way people make you feel.
I mean, yeah,
you know what I mean? When you can see, just like, just a new level of manipulation, and you almost, because you're on the block, you just kind of got to take it a little bit.
Yeah, and like
that's very difficult for anybody to do.
No, I agree. And like the thing is, like, she aimed her campaign at you.
Yeah.
But she didn't need to.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, she could have made it why she's better for everyone's game.
Yeah.
But it didn't need to like try to soil to do that. That's the route she chose to take.
Yeah. And
campaigning never has to be about talking about how bad the other person is.
No. Honestly, before that happened, like, I wasn't even going to mention Vic in my campaign. I was going to mention what I would be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when she brought up a conversation that I had with her in this room, where I did go and give her a hug and I talked to her, that was a real human moment. A real human moment. I was crying to you and Destiny about it the night before. Do you know what I mean? Because of, like, I do care about her as a person. In this game, it is very hard. That is a real human moment.
Yeah.
That was also used to make me look terrible. And in that moment, it was like and I said to her, look, you got fight in you. You campaign, do you. I said that to her in this moment. I hugged her, I was crying. And in that moment, that was still used against me. As if I spearheaded the entire back door for her, which everybody knows isn't even true. Like, I was not the only one to say anything about Vic. And honestly, the only thing I asked Beth was because I wanted to know why Beth was saying my name straight up. That was a conversation that I had with Beth. Like, why are you saying my name over Tina's? Did you say this about me? Do you feel this way? That was just something that I had on my heart where I just wanted to know at that point.
Yeah.
Because it had been sold so much. Is it even true? Because it's easy to think that it's true when somebody's about to put you on the block.
Yeah.
There's somebody coming. Not that I got like 0 fucks given today. Legit, 0 fucks given.
I think it's getting there for a lot of
But those were like real things, you know.
Yeah.
Other people have been approached because she is a big target, you know. Like, she does have a big resume. There are visible things to show that she was playing both sides hard. Mm-hmm. Not just a little bit, hard. We have said this about every other person that has left. There are reasons why they are in that position. I'm not going to own the entire reason why Vic is in the position. I don't own all of that. I don't have that much power and control and persuasion in this game. I'm not going to carry the weight of that. That if she goes, it's solely because of me. I would like to take credit for it, but it's just not true. People make decisions and say things, and they have their own repercussions. And when you asked me that question about Vic in the conversation, I was truthful with you that it wasn't your name. But it was Beth's, and it was Braden, it was Jetson, it was that three, you know? I didn't lie to you about that. I could have easily been like, oh yeah, she said your name too. I didn't. I said what I had heard. Mm-hmm. I could have very easily been like, oh yeah, no, she said your name. I could have very easily done that. But I didn't. Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's give me a hug. Look at you and your sniggies.
I'm wearing this. It's embarrassing. I'm on TV.
I think it's really cute. Are you kidding?
With no pants?
Do you know every shot of me yesterday? Yeah. Yeah, not
walking around with no pants?
Nothing is cute. Even today is not very cute because I can't take a goddamn shower.
Yeah, I'm going to take one now. I'm just waiting for my laundry.
Good luck. Enjoy.